Yes, I do. There's something in the back of my head that I had to do, and that is adjust the brightness on my for my non-stage light. There we go. All right, let's get rolling here. And Derek Lively is going to play. That's the biggest thing. He's been cleared, no restrictions apparently, and that is, I think, massive for the Mavericks defense. To me, Lively has been the Mavs' best big man in the series. That they've been able to get something with Gafford in the game, but Lively also has the ability to do more defensively on the perimeter. Like those shots that Anthony Edwards hit at the end of game 4, where he's screening, re-screening with Gobert, able to get to a mid-ranger totally unmolested. I would think with Lively out there at the end of the game,
Nate, people are mentioning that your audio is a little choppy. It's choppy for me too. I don't know if that's like a refresh.
Okay, well then.
Oh, now it sounds better. Of course, in that immediate moment, it sounds better.
I guess it just takes a while to come through. Well, if it's bad again, please let me know.
Of course.
I have absolutely no way of knowing that. Yeah, I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. It's the same settings every single time.
So other than how Lively's moving physically, what are you looking for at the start of game 5?
Yeah, I think Luka too. I want to see how aggressive he's going to be. I thought he left a lot of chances to score in that upper to middle paint area on the table, throwing passes to the corner. I want to see whether he's going to come out and try to set a little bit more of a tone coming off a 7-21 game for him. And then, of course, Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, can he continue the role that he was on in the second half? He really is. I don't think he's had a single good first half in this series. So that's a big part of it also. And then Lively, he'll probably would normally come in about the 8-minute mark or so. So we'll be anticipating that. So here we are. We are underway, and the Wolves have it with Conley guarded by Irving. And they want to go at PJ Washington pick and roll and said that's a distraction to get Ant coming off the pin down, but he couldn't score over Luka. Gobert keeping it alive for Towns to open the scoring on the baseline.
And the possession game / the offensive rebounding will be a story to watch. It's been an underappreciated at times dynamic in this series.
Back screen for Luka, then to post up Conley. Gobert came over, and it will be a goaltend.
Yeah, it looks like he got that one on the way down. Gobert is not thrilled with it, but I think that's about right.
Let's see. Yeah, tough to tell from that angle exactly. But generally, if the guy is standing more than halfway between the guy and the basket, it's going to be a goaltend. Here's McDaniels. So they've gone at Luka, setting screens with Luka's man early. Here's Gobert trying to step around, and he scores on Gafford. Gobert has been reasonably effective on those little short rolls. Here's Doncic going to fire over Edwards early, and that's not the sign you're looking for if you're Minnesota.
Walked into that pretty comfortably. Lower body looked comfortable there, and that's a deep 3 too.
All 5, and again they're going at Luka here. McDaniels went for the mid-ranger. Now they've got transition. Irving picked up by McDaniels, goes into the lane, stopped by McDaniels. Gafford forces it up, and he scores against 3 Wolves. Nice play there. So Luka had all 5 of their points until that one by Gafford. Gobert laid the wood on Derek Jones Jr. He's still down. That leads to this McDaniels open 3. Oh, and Edwards, because Jones was down, no one was there to box him out. He took full advantage. Jones, again, I mean, it looks like he's been probably hit in what appears to be the midsection like 6 times in this series. So Gobert is actually up further. Luka is feeling it. Oh, man. Wow. Luka Doncic coming out here on an absolute mission early. That was the case as well in game 4, though. I think he had 8 of their first 10. Here's McDaniels again going at Luka. Oh, and Gobert just didn't have his hands ready. He's got to have his hands up. That time it was just poor preparation. If your hands are here, you can move them to catch the ball. If your hands are at your side, you got to move them here and then move them to catch the ball. And then They get back another block at Irving. I think McDaniel's got him. He's blocked Irving twice. Gobert running the floor underneath Towns, going to the lefty floater, missed it. Gobert again, he just can't grab the ball.
On that one, I thought Jones might have knocked it out of his hands, but still not great.
Luka is feeling it now. Gets plenty of space against McDaniels. That was way too easy. Gafford is down. They should try to push it up here. He's trying to get back into the play. It's 4-on-4. Edwards eluding Jones out to Towns, who has all day, and he can't get that to fall. That was a great look. Doncic ahead to Irving, now Washington. Everyone's exhausted. That leads to these crazy transition sequences and a foul. Was that Towns?
That was Jaden McDaniels. So that is McDaniels first. The first foul. Part of why this game has been so frantic is that's the first foul of the game. Luka's line so far, modest 10 points, 4-4 from the field, 2-2 from 3. Doesn't have any assists because he's made all but one of their baskets.
Yeah, so Washington will get to the line. Jones still discussing that hit to the midsection, and here is Derek Lively very early on with less than 3 minutes gone by.
And Lively's versatility on defense is valuable. His not being Dwight Powell is valuable to the Dallas Mavericks. We'll see what he can do out there. And hopefully he's moving well. Hopefully he's feeling great.
If someone were Dwight Powell, how would you notice? So Minnesota, I think their offense has actually looked pretty good here early, but they're down 8 because I don't think they've gotten a single stop yet. Maybe, no, they got the one on Irving in transition. They blocked it. Here's Conley, back to Gobert. Awkward floater. Towns rolls in from the left side with the 1-foot tip in. High screen for Luka. Now Gobert with more of a drop. And what do we have here? This is going to be another foul on McDaniels trying to navigate the screen.
It is. I thought that was an awkward kind of shift of the screen by Derek Lively, but it seems like they're calling it on McDaniels instead.
Yeah, so no box out by Washington or Luka on that Towns tip-in. Here's Doncic getting Edwards on his back, goes in. And yeah, I think I don't know why he wasn't as aggressive in game 4, but that's twice now he's attacked in that area and tried to score. They haven't made him pass it once yet. Pinned down for McDaniels. Now Gobert stepping up. Conley switched on to by Lively into the post. Gobert. He had Conley open, should have thrown it to him. Instead, he's going to try to back down Luka, who fouled him a couple times in that situation in game 4, and he's done it again this time. They should, hey, if he's going to keep fouling him, just keep going to that. Why not?
It doesn't seem like a big competitive advantage because Gobert's not that great of a post-up player, but if you can get a foul, I mean, that's...
Well, here's the thing. Luka, he never keeps his arms up and back, right? Like, he's always got his arms forward, so all you have to do is just shoot, and it's going to be a foul on him if he's going to defend it that way.
Luka Doncic's forte is not verticality in any way, shape, or form.
But it is scoring 12 points in less than 5 minutes. Gobert well to the left on that one. Anderson is in, so it'll be Anderson and Gobert together. We'll see if they could do a better job of not guarding him. Here's Doncic again. Missed that one.
That one was a little rushed compared to the other ones.
I mean, so were the other ones. He just happened to make them.
I thought it was a little bit more pressured. Another big screen by Gobert.
Going downhill again across the lane. They feel like they can put 2 on the ball now with Anderson on the floor and play out of that. Gobert posting up Luka. Back to Anderson. Anderson on the blow by, and just left it short. Lively bothered him from behind.
That was Luka, a terrible fight on the pump fake, though.
And now you saw that coming the whole way, but Jones can't get off the ground. Maybe that hit to the midsection bothered him. He missed another tip, still tipped around. Gobert can't grab it, but finally Edwards has. That was a big missed opportunity for the Mavs. Missed dunk, missed wide open 3, missed wide open tip-in. Towns underneath Gobert. Oh, what a block by Jones. And those two have gotten involved at times. And I can't see much that anyone really did there, but is the old monitor going to be consulted?
I mean, I think that should be nothing, and they'll probably do double text, but I think that should just be nothing.
So was that a foul? Or did he just knock it
out of bounds, blocked out of bounds.
Okay, that's what I thought. So 10 to shoot here. Yeah, I mean, you can't, like, all right, it does immediately dissipate. Now, of course, Gobert doesn't have to, like, walk through him afterwards. You can walk around the guy, potentially, but we wouldn't know how tough he was if he didn't try to walk through him.
So some of the stats so far, Dallas, I'm going to just make sure the timing.
Is this a challenge here? Or this is just another review?
It is. Minnesota called a full timeout, and there is an altercation request.
Yeah, well,
so I think they want an altercation.
There have been double technicals assessed as of now. Maybe they're going to look at that and change it.
So cleaning the glass stats so far: 177.8 Dallas offensive rating overall.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, it'll be reviewed for a potential hostile act which occurred prior to that. Okay.
So Dallas has a 175 first shot half court offensive rating, which is pretty hilarious. Let's see. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's about time for me to ask Rick Carlisle if they should have run more post-ups for Porzingis.
And the only real place where Dallas has been inefficient. Oh.
All right, that's it. So, yeah, I mean, those guys have gotten involved so much. Maybe there's just a feeling that they need to keep that in check to some degree. I mean, there have just been a number of times, like Gobert delivered a blow. Jones felt I didn't get a great look at what happened on that screen. That's the one that led to the Edwards tip dunk.
It is.
Okay, sorry, you were saying?
Oh, so the only place where Dallas has been inefficient is around the basket, 1 for 4. Though I think some of those were the missed Derek Jones Jr. tips on the last play we saw.
Yeah, Irving has been blocked twice by McDaniels. I think that's right. Yeah, that is right.
Gobert's postgame reminds me of the animatronic robots from the original Jurassic Park. It is stiff. And I don't know, I enjoyed Jurassic Park more than I enjoy watching Gobert post-ups. Do you still respect Draymond's basketball IQ if he doesn't recognize Gobert's value? I think there is stuff that is more personal there than necessarily. I don't watch Draymond as a talking head very often because I don't watch any talking head very often. But my instinct would be the truth of how he evaluates Gobert is probably a little bit off of the public stuff because there's some beef. And there has been for a long time.
Can you explain how Luka's step back three is so effective? What makes it difficult for a defender's guard? Well, number one, he's 6'8". That's a big part of it. And he's got long strides and he's got great footwork. And he's so good at stopping and starting and decelerating and going backwards. But it's the biggest part of it is just that you have to respect the rest of his game. So you can't sell out on that. Particularly, I mean, you saw Gobert try to do that at the end of game 2. And so he was able to step back to the other side. But yeah, that step back to the left is pretty deadly. It hasn't got in. Like, you always had to guard it because, like, he could get hot on it at any game. But it hasn't got in at the same crazy rate that it did this year. I can't remember what he shot from 3 this year, but I think he was in the high 30s, which he hadn't really been before. Cross screen for Gobert. Now his looking to screen for Edwards. They're timing completely off. They got to just airmail this up, and Towns lucky to recover. 10 to shoot. Conley, Towns pick and roll. They get the switch. Towns with 6. They're going to double here. Lively trying to come over. Towns forces it up, and that was good defense. Again, because Lively is there, Towns can't overpower him and get all the way to the rim. Back screen for Luka again into the post against Anderson. I want to see how Anderson guards him down here. Anderson gets the steal. He knocked it away. Edwards pushing it up. He lost the handle, able to recover, and he finishes on Irving.
Kyrie Irving, not always the most consistent transition defender there, and Edwards used to strengthen. Kyle Anderson, He's gotten some blocks and some tips on Luka. The length is interesting there. It's funny because Luka had a tip out like that on Gobert a couple games ago.
Yeah, and that's a hard call for the referee to make. That little like reach around move. It can be a foul, but it's sometimes you're just not in position to really see whether he actually hits his arm or not. That one, I would guess, I know he has long arms. It seemed impossible that he could have actually hit the ball that time, but they didn't call anything. Screen away for Luka here. Gets to his spot and gets to the basket, but he missed that one. A rare miss around the rim, but that was the right read. Still a pretty good 2-on-1 defense by Gobert. Now they're not even guarding Conley at all in transition, and they give up a three. So the missed layup, Luka tardy getting back as a result. Here's Irving splitting the pick and roll on Towns, gets to his spot. Good contest by Conley, but it didn't matter. Yeah, if they're going to put two on the ball way out there on a Towns pick and roll, just run that every time. Now it's Anderson Gobert. They switch it. Gobert looking to post up. He's double teamed, and he scores. Count it. What a play by Gobert. It's awkward, but he's been pretty effective down there. And Lively here. See, this should be, if that's a foul, it's a foul before the shot, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
But yeah, they run this little snug pick and roll, lob it in. And yeah, like, well, Lively.
Well, the hand on they're probably calling the hand on the back. The hand on the back was in the shooting motion.
Yep. No, you're right. And Gobert completes the 3-point play. So Minnesota restoring order. They survived the initial Luka flurry. Irving against the under. Ant is on him. Kicks out. Anderson now on Luka. McDaniels is on the bench. Anderson again looking to bother Luka. Conley is way off a green. Luka, yes. What a play there. And that's open, even though he missed that layup last time. That's open because he's been more aggressive shooting from that range. So then Gobert has to come over. Here's Gobert. Kicks it out. Almost intercepted. No spacing for the Wolves on that left side. Towns carried. They didn't call it. He'll try again here. He gives up the ball. Edwards getting past Green. Finds Gobert underneath. And he missed it.
Good work by PJ Washington as the low man there, twice slowing down drives.
Here's Irving into Gobert. No foul is called.
Gobert's done a good job there.
Conley in the corner. Fires, moving to his right. Can't get two in a row there. Wolves got to get back here. Gobert and Towns are going too slow, and they're going to give up a dunk. They jogged back. Washington did not jog, and you could see it. Both your bigs behind the play was going to be something easy for the Mavs right away. And Naz Reid's headed to the table after that. Conley goes to the righty floater, just squirts out. Gobert still fighting, but he lost it. Green tips it ahead to Irving. Luka and Irving have gone the whole way so far. Luka off the screen. Gobert dropping. Anderson bothers him. Luka gets to a spot and scores.
We haven't talked about it much, but I think Derek Lively is looking very normal. So normal that I hadn't been thinking about the neck issue really at all.
Absolutely. They throw it ahead here after pressure in the backcourt. Anderson guarded by Luka. They want to post up Towns. Towns backing in, double teamed. He had Gobert open, but we're going to get a little push from Washington, and that'll get these subs into the game.
That will be the fourth team foul on Dallas, all of them by different individuals. McDaniels has 2, and that's why he's been out recently.
Yeah, Luka yelling at the Wolves bench, presumably, you can't play a drop coverage on me. Kyle Anderson can't guard me, something like that. But again, his ability to go to his right is not something he had a couple of years ago, at least comfortably. Oh, there's a blow by. And Gafford, just back in the game, goes vertical on Ant to force a miss. Now here's Hardy. Shut down by Reid. Washington down the lane. Nice play by Anderson intercepting that. He's so good around those areas. Now Reid staying on the ball, getting past Washington. No foul. Gobert plows through Gafford. No foul there either, and he lost it.
They're not calling a lot around the basket, but I think they've been pretty consistent with it.
Step up screen, and that's fine. They'll just see that was dumb by PJ Washington. Why set a screen to get the superior defender back onto Luka? They go under. He's going to fire from the logo. Oh, baby. This
Oh.
level of aggressiveness is absolutely insane. But the bigger problem, I think the Wolves just have gotten pretty good opportunities that they haven't taken advantage of. Here's that rescreen. Gobert coming down, kicks out. That's the right pass. Leading. Oh, Anderson just absolutely record scratch. But because Dallas didn't rotate well, Alexander Walker was open, but he missed it. Anderson is exhausted right now. Here's Luka firing again. Oh my God. This is just an absolutely unnerving performance by him right now.
20 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3.
4 of 5 for 3. And they're getting like each one is harder than the last. It's insane. This has just been an absolute like I can't it's so ridiculous that I can't even get excited about it. Like it's like it's almost bewilderment.
I'm trying to remember if he had like a quarter in that Suns game 7 where it was anything like this.
It wasn't like this. Yeah, I mean, he had
a stretch in that game where he hit like 5 in a row. I think
he had the same as the Suns. It was 57 to 27 at the half, and I think he had 27 in the first half. And I think he had 2 or 3 threes in a row that kind of like right at the end of the half in that game that pushed it to 30, and you're like, okay, like there's literally no way they're coming back now.
What are your thoughts on 7 Gobert shots? Mostly okay with it. I think that, and then worth remembering that at least one of those was off of an offensive rebound, so you're not sad about that. But yeah. they've drawn some fouls, and he's gotten to the line, and yeah, he's going to split those free throws. But overall, I think that if Dallas's offense wasn't Luka going supernova, I think that part of what Minnesota's doing has worked reasonably well.
I think maybe your bet is just that if we get his volume high enough, he started off pretty decently, but to get up to 7 plus two trips to the line, I guess he's got 2 and 1s, right? So he's drawn a couple of fouls, but 3 of 7 points on 8 shooting possessions is not amazing.
It's not amazing, but if you add in, I think it's 3 drawn fouls, that helps. Will Luka be able to keep this up through 4 quarters? Probably not, but that's okay. You still have these 20 points. That's you can't ask for a team to maintain a 150 offensive rating, and Luka's individual one is probably even higher than
that. Saying that Luka and SGA are equivalent on offense is ridiculous. Now, you'll recall in top 10 players in the NBA, I ranked Luka higher than Shea. This was an analysis of the entire season's body of work. And if you look at that, there isn't really much statistical evidence that Luka was a better offensive player than Shea this year. Anything that you look at, and then Shea is just way better than him on defense. So I said it was very, very close, but that's why I had Shea ranked just barely above Luka. And I mean, let's not forget, Luka, Shea outplayed Luka in a series 1 series ago, right? That's this idea that it was completely insane to have him ahead of Luka when he actually was better than Luka in the last series. I think to say that it's I understand the difference of opinion. Sure, I completely get that. But to say it's you're not even in the same league. He was better than him for a whole series when they played each other.
And so we got to ask, which of these teams is better suited to play the Celtics? I think it's Dallas, because their offensive game is going to create some problems for Boston. And defensively, I'd love to see both of these series, and who knows if we're going to have to, if we're going to get to over multiple years. But I think Dallas can defend them reasonably well.
So now Kleba is in. This is the first time we've seen Kleba playing next to another big since his return. He was getting very physical with Towns, and they're going to say that was actually blocked, I think, on
no, I think Gafford touched it before it bounced out of bounds too. Either way.
Here's Towns working along the baseline, finds Anderson, but they rotate well to him. Now Reid, he got stripped by Green. It's loose. This will be a jump ball here eventually. And that was actually smart. Do you see? I think that was Luka.
Pulled his hands out.
He took his hands out so that Gafford would be the guy to get the tie up. That was smart, but only 2.1 to shoot regardless. So where can the Wolves go here? Where's their spot?
I mean, I would tip it to Towns.
How do they not have a spot? This is weird. Yeah, Edwards is trying to change sides. They wouldn't let him do it, and it's going to be Dallas ball anyway. He got knocked out by Reid. That was good. I can't remember a jump ball where neither team had a spot with two guys next to each other. And I guess it's going to be Minnesota ball here. They talk it over, but only 2.1 to play with. Anderson will inbound. They've got Towns and Reid up front. Reid going to screen for Edwards. Reid, good switch by Green. Edwards is just going to have nothing here. Yes, gets it off over Hardy.
That was
no, they say he didn't get it off in time.
They'll review it, but I thought I saw it still in Edwards' hands when the lights went off.
Yeah, I mean, when they wave it off like that, they wouldn't do that if it was even reasonably close. Doncic going after Towns this time. Picks up his dribble. No real advantage. Now they go back to a rescreen. It's Towns switching on to Hardy. Hardy going between his legs, and it's intercepted. Nice defense by Towns. Alexander Walker has it, but then they throw it away in transition. That could have been a transition take foul. Luka wants it back. He's shooting this one. Left wing three, just off that time. Wolves with 1:23 left. Anderson going to push it. Works on Doncic. Taken away by Green, who's made a couple of nice plays. Doncic gets out of the jump ball situation. Hardy tried to throw it ahead. It's still loose. Green went behind to Gafford. That was a beautiful little backhanded pass by Josh Green, and free throws coming here for Daniel Gafford.
How many times in the last 30 seconds has somebody actually held the basketball? Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, clear foul there, but a good one by Reid. Towns was certainly fooled by that pass.
Pretty sure that's the best pass I've ever seen Josh Green throw.
Yeah, Green's made some nice plays here.
And Gafford does miss the first of two free throws. And that is only the third team foul on Minnesota with but the first in the last 2 minutes, so they will be shooting the rest of the way. And even though both teams would be shooting free throws on any subsequent fouls, the score bug does not indicate that either team is functionally in the bonus.
Yeah, ESPN actually does a good job on that. The TNT does not. Just because of that, they should have to lose the NBA.
Even I'm not petty enough to wish somebody lose it over a score bug.
So now it's Kleber switching on to Edwards. Edwards, he's got to either drive or get off the ball here. He does go through the arm of Gafford though, and that's a poor foul by Gafford. But I like especially if because what Kleber's trying to do is force a baseline, funnel him into the help. So you got to do one of two things there. You need to either drive enough to actually force them to guard you with two players, which he did eventually, or you move it immediately and try to beat the overshifted defense by attacking from the other side. What you cannot do in that situation is just dribble in place.
That's another missed free throw by the Wolves. That is their third missed free throw of the game already.
Yeah, Edwards lasers that one in. That is normal arc on that free throw. But yeah, I mean, it's a 13-1 run, but it's over like 4 minutes. Like, this is more of a walk. Like, as good as Luka has been, this hasn't been like an unsustainable, just blitz overall from Dallas offensively. Just the Wolves have not scored. Now Luka off the screen. Towns trying to blitz it on the hedge. Luka into the lane. Oh, that would have been a sick pass. And there, Gafford able to clean it up.
And that probably gets them 2 for 1 here as well.
And did that cost Luka the assist, though? That probably did.
It probably did.
Reid up top. 7-second differential. Good fake drive. Gafford stopped him at the basket. And Luka will take the air out of the ball for the last shot here for Dallas, looking to extend on a 14-point advantage. Yeah, Wolves 1 point in the last 5 minutes of the quarter. Down to 6. Here they come with the double. Irving is back in. He'll try Reid, and he goes right through his chest. Beautiful finish there. Yeah, and I love Stan Van Gundy. He's like Mr. Take it out of Luka's hands, and then he's like, oh yeah, they just left Kyrie Irving. Maybe it's not so easy to double team, right? Like that's a great way at the end of the quarter to prevent that double team is you put your second best player as the closest guy to him. But they didn't rotate well enough onto Irving. Like just giving him a free run at it is not going to work.
Minnesota Timberwolves 19 points on 8 of 26 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Luka Doncic 20 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Pretty good. He's an all right basketball player. How does Luka's ability to hit logo threes impact the spacing of defensive schemes throughout the game? He doesn't. I haven't looked at the numbers on his like deep threes. I think it's more of a capability rather than like a consistent thing with him. I would be very interested in how the numbers on that bear out. Like, so I know some people have done some work on the further ranges that you can do, and you do run into the vagaries of how shots are logged, and there can be some real problems there. I'm sure Second Spectrum can do that, and Hawkeye and all that fun stuff. But it does. I mean, there's an old idea from the Ryan Anderson, Eric Gordon Rockets teams that the mentality a lot of times going back for years in the NBA is you defend like to the 3-point line, and it changes closeouts, it changes the geometry of the floor. If you have to close out further, it's a little bit different when it's a catch and shoot guy versus an on ball player, but it's tough to defend. I mean, it's really, really tough to defend. We've seen it work really well. If they were both unrestricted free agents, who would get more, Jimmy or Paul George? So that's more gaming it out in terms of what GMs would do. I worry about how Jimmy Butler's game is going to age more than George, even though George is, I would say, more like you would think that the guy who relies more on strength would be more concerned rather than the guy who relies on athleticism, who has a better jump shot. But the jumpers generally age well. So, and Jimmy's older, I believe. I think I could pull that relatively quickly. I think Jimmy's like a year or two older than PJ. So I would give Paul George more. I would not be surprised if general managers felt better about Butler because, when he's been healthy, when he's been active, he's been good. So Jimmy's born in September of 89. PG is born in May of 1990. So they're very close. Their basketball reference ages are different years, but they're pretty close.
Has anyone made maybe they should have stuck with the Gobert post-ups joke yet?
I mean, if they could have gotten one more foul on Luka, it would have been pretty good.
So Luka will get a rest here. It's Irving being guarded by Alexander Walker off the Kleba screen. Kleba trying to hand back to Irving. Didn't really work. No advantage there. Now they're at late clock. Irving, they try to keep him off his right hand. He gets to his spot anyway. That's just not good enough by Alexander Walker. You got help waiting there in the form of Naz Reid. You got to force him back into that screen.
Shoot the three. No.
Hand off Conley. Rescreen. Exum is on him. Here's Gobert open. They throw it. That was great pick and roll defense by Lively. Really good there. And Exum did well to stick with Conley also. That's a great job defending that.
And I think that was another Kyrie play like the one that was big in game 4 or game 3 where Irving fouled, but they didn't call the foul.
Yeah, somehow Irving got that pass off from underneath, and Kleba drains the left wing three, and this is now a 21-point game. It's getting late early for Minnesota. Conley off the Gobert screen. They first flared Reid. Conley trying to beat Lively on the switch, forces it up, and somehow off the window. He was looking for the foul. Instead, he got himself a bucket. Again, Dallas trying to push up quickly through Green, and he goes right through Jaden McDaniels. What a finish. Here's McDaniels. Gobert was open briefly. He'll kick it all the way out to Conley, eluding Green for three. Left it short. Conley's missed a couple of those. He'll try again. Goes at Exum, and Exum got him on the elbow.
Yeah, and Exum, he's mad about it, but he wasn't actually vertical there. His arms weren't straight behind him, and so you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt on that call.
So yeah, back to this idea of rim protection. Were they saying on Ben's show that like rim protection is better, and maybe there's some statistical analysis of that? I certainly think that's the case. When I watch old games, there weren't really, if you think about it, that many guys in that kind of like Tyson Chandler mold back in the day. Like he was one of those first kind of rim running centers who was maybe a little skinnier, but was really hard to score on at the basket. And there are a lot more of those guys around now. I think there just are generally, being a center used to kind of be more about bulk and rebounding and post defense than rim protection necessarily. But the best rim protectors would average way more blocks per game. It was maybe just a rarer skill. But we can get back into that next break. Here's Irving trying to go through Alexander Walker, and he just completely overpowers him. He'll get to the line. He's really beaten him pretty badly a few times here.
Yeah, Nate, like Bill Russell had 0 credited blocks during his entire career. How could he have been a good rim protector?
So I think there are more of these kind of bouncy guys. The biggest difference to me, though, is two things. I would say a change in officiating and just an emphasis on going vertical and not even necessarily trying to block the shot every time, which guys used to do a lot more, right? Like their shots at the rim haven't really declined, but the fouls on those shots have really declined a lot. And that's because there's this emphasis on going vertical and forcing them to finish through legal contact over your arms. And if you go back and watch some of those old Jordan games, he used to get some soft ass calls at the rim. Like if you bumped into a guy, you were going to get the call more times than not.
And that really changes the efficiency too, because if those become and ones, then they're only shot attempts if they go in.
Pick and pop there. They don't switch that. They've actually gone mostly with more guards on Reid so they can do more switching. Oh, beautiful go and catch by Irving, and he's tripped. It'll be interesting to see if this is a shooting foul or not. I think it will be.
Yeah, and this has been a really good Kyrie Irving stretch at the start. I mean, before these free throws, it's 9-4 in the quarter for the Mavs, and this is with Luka off the floor, though Ant is off the floor as well. Oh, actually, he's back now.
So really, where they've dominated has been with Gafford on the floor. Josh Green has actually been excellent. He's plus 20. There's the back door. Lively had Green open, but his pass was deflected by the good hands. I think that was Anderson. Conley finding Anderson. Anderson against Kleba. Not an advantage matchup. Shoots over him and misses. Good tip out by Exum, who's been solid. Edwards trying to take it away. Exum stays on the ball. He'll push it up, guarded by Reid, looks to interact with Lively. He says, no, go screen away for Kyrie instead. Kyrie working on Ant. Good denial by Edwards. Backdoor Green. Now it's Irving. They don't keep him off the right hand. They don't keep him on the side. And that's your result. What a finish over Gobert.
Mavs
How many times did they let him get right? Oh, Edwards breaking the ankles of Exum. But it's still a 20-point game despite that highlight. Into the post, Lively. Irving moving off the ball. Good step up by Reid. They force him into Gobert. Kleba just hit a three, and he travels in the corner. Yeah, Kleba hitting that three was big. It seems like he's managed to hit like one every game, just enough to keep the defense honest, but they forced him into a travel that time. Yeah, you see Edwards there. They've got, if he can just keep Irving from using that screen, if he can successfully
sell out a
direct
little
the ball,
harder, yeah.
well, and there's nowhere for him to go there, right? Like there's another guy in the corner and there's a guy waiting at the rim. He would have been totally bottled up if you can successfully direct the ball. But instead, you let him out of there, and then everyone is expecting him to be directed, and he's not. And now he's able to get into the lane and score.
And so Dallas outscores Minnesota in the minutes when Luka Doncic was on the bench.
Yeah, they've gotten to a very defensive group without him, and now he's back in the game. Here's Towns going through Lively. Beautiful finish there. Maybe someone should have tried to take the charge that time. Luka pushing it up. He's going to be aggressive immediately. Gets Anderson on his back. Good rotation from Edwards. And Luka, beautiful fake. That's 2 on 3 he just scored there.
And two on 3 with Minnesota's two of their better defenders on Luka.
And he just faked him out of Edwards between the legs, kicks it out. Conley not able to get out to the corner in time. And they're not guarding Anderson at all. They've done a much better job of that. Now Towns able to recover his own tip pass and somehow gets it in. Towns being more aggressive here. There's Lively released to the basket, and he's going to get hacked by Conley.
We've seen Mike Conley be open a lot, and I'm actually surprised he only has 5 field goal attempts so far because it seems like the ball has found him a lot so far, and only 1 assist.
Yeah, so that's how you go back to that Luka finish. Gobert, I think he and Anderson was expecting it to be a late switch, and Luka's his pass fake made Gobert just go away, and then he just shot it. Yeah, this has been pointed out that the Mavs like to overshift a lot too, that's kind of part of their rim protection, and that it can leave the opposite corner open as Lively hits the first free throw.
Yeah, that's a part of what I was mentioning before with Conley. And they haven't been burned by it really at all in this game, in part because Minnesota's 2 for 8 from 3.
And apropos time, by the way, for this stat, we've only had 6 series in which a team has gone up 3-0 without home court advantage in the series and then lost game 4 at home. In those 6, actually, that team has won on the road in 5, half the time, 3 of the 6. One of them went to, or the 2 of the remainder went to 6 games and just were taken care of at home. And then one last year's game with the Heat and the Celtics, the Heat actually won on the road as Lively's going to pick up the foul here. Towns has been aggressive driving, and he's been getting into the body of Lively a little bit more, which is where I think he has more of an advantage.
And that's Lively's second personal foul, second team foul in the Mavs. Minnesota has committed 3 so far.
Yeah, neither team getting up a ton of threes right now. But Wolves are 2 of 8. Dallas is 5 of 8. And Luka has made 4 of those. So that's fascinating, Danny. The Mavs have only taken 2 3-point attempts, not from Luka, and Luka has still been destroying them. I talked about how he scored 2 on 3 last time. Like, they're bringing help off the weak side corner, even. And like that pass was available to Luka last time. He's like, no, I'm just going to take this floater. I'm just going to fake you out, Rudy Gobert.
And so we'll see if maybe Washington or Derek Jones Jr., if some of those opportunities fall to them in the near future.
Irving going at Townsend pick and roll. No advantage there, but now it's Luka one-on-one. They'll rescreen with Gafford. Towns late getting up. They get off the ball. Here's Jones with his corner three. Not close, but Gafford gets the offensive board. Naz Reid, a pretty poor defensive rebounder. He took advantage of him that time. Luka working into the lane again. Towns, good hands. Luka stepping around, but that was excellent defense by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, nice job there. Made it a harder shot.
Yeah, and that's the same shot that he hit over, I can't remember who it was. I think it was maybe Anderson in game 3 when Van Gundy was like, oh, you got to double to get out of his hands. I'm like, no, like you got to live with that shot. That's a hard shot. That's not like an easy floater or a jumper. Edwards is on Luka. They put 2 on the ball again. That's Gafford releasing. Watch out. Jones missing the layup. No foul call. Towns has gotten away with a few, you might say. Anderson stepping in. Reid had Edwards in the corner, didn't see him, and he turns it over. They're lucky to recover, though. Reid going to try again. Finally, he makes that pass to Edwards, and Edwards misses it.
Somebody should be open on a hit ahead here.
Oh, Irving ran into Anderson. Down. Wide open corner three. Jones, and he cashes out. 20-point lead again. Yeah, if they can't get it under 20 significantly by the end of this quarter, like that's demoralizing to be down by 20 for like that period of time. Towns on the drive into the lane, forces it up. Man, he's been aggressive.
That was a tough drive and finish by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Well, and they've got the floor a little bit more open. Gafford was on Reid and worried about him, so Towns is able to go through some of their smaller defenders. Double screen here. Luka finding Jones. Jones on the attack. Washington, that's the right pass. Simple basketball, but Reid got the block and a loose ball foul in favor of the Wolves.
Don't challenge it. I think that was there was some selling in that by Kyle Anderson.
Yeah. Well, they didn't call it, so.
Yeah. One of the bigger disparities in half-court offensive ratings that you're going to see, 158.6 for the Mavs, 61.3 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Of course, three-point shooting is a part of that story. It doesn't include offensive rebounds and everything else, but hard to be close when you have a 100 roughly point difference in half-court offensive rating.
I'm sorry. Well, I was reading something else. I was reading a comment. There's 100-point difference in half-court offensive rating right now?
158.6, 61.3.
Yeah, Luka, if Dallas could quit missing so often in transition, it's dragging down their offense.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas has a 60 offensive rating in transition per clean glass. Matthew asks, how many teams are going to overdraft athletic centers in the next few seasons to chase the Derek Lively experience?
The same numbers as always have overdrafted athletic centers. Just look at the league.
It's happened a lot. And
it does seem, I mean, who other than Wiseman, and Wiseman, when he was drafted, I mean, he's not only just like he's got one of the best bodies in NBA history, but he, there was a feeling like he could have a pretty good jumper, like good touch around the rim, like good skill level, could put it on the floor. Like there's a thought that he could be like a big scorer.
True. And I mean, it's also worth remembering that there aren't that many of those like really athletic, also have legit center size guys. A lot of times your teams are choosing to sacrifice on other things to kind of try to make that happen. Like I haven't watched everybody, but I don't think there's anybody who I've heard about like being drafted like in the mix in the like first 20 picks that really fits that description this year.
I've only watched one of them.
Yes.
So far.
No, but like even just like looking at the boards, like I mean, I haven't gotten deep enough on it for those type of guys, but like I don't remember seeing like, oh, there's a raw, athletic, lengthy center, like rangy center in the mix.
Bickren says Jackson Hayes is a good example of that.
Yes.
And, yeah, I mean, now I didn't hate that pick in that range. It was more just that it was the Pels drafting him. That's what I thought was so stupid about it, that he just was never going to fit with Zion. And as it turned out, he just lacked really the toughness and awareness to be good. But Better pick and roll player, Chris Paul, Nash, or Harden? Nash, like, by a lot. Like, Nash had pretty much every option available. Right hand, left hand. He created Nashing under the rim. And then also he would shoot the three off the dribble out of pick and roll too if he needed to. So, and he wasn't as good against a switch as Harden. Yeah, I mean that was nothing.
No.
The best short roll center is Nikola Jokic.
Yes. It's a little unfair, but it's also true.
All right, back to work here. Backdoor, Edwards around Luka. Beautiful backdoor play. That was well set up. And again, they're not putting Gafford on Anderson. And so him having to guard on the perimeter is really opening up the rim. And we're going to get an illegal screen now, too, on Gafford. And hey, you know what, Danny? When you flopped and didn't get the call, flop again. And yeah, he's kind of got the knee out a little bit there.
But I mean, Lively has his knee out on more on his screens more often than they don't call it enough.
Yeah, but if he's kind of just bending his knees, you could almost like aim to like hit his knee from the side and like make it look like he stuck his knee out. Here's Towns on the attack, goes right past his man. Lively forced the miss that time.
Nice box up by Luka, and
that should be a transition take foul right there.
Absolutely.
I know he does that all the time, but that to me is not a legitimate attempt at the ball. Like you should, and if it is, too bad. It should still be. I mean, I know what the rule is, but that should be a transition take foul because like it just shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to get away with that. It's better for the game if that's a transition take foul. And there's a real foul by Kyle Anderson.
And that, I believe, is his second. Yeah, so both of his fouls have occurred in the last, 10 seconds. Yep,
good awareness by Lively to pull that ball in so that Anderson ended up committing the foul instead of knocking it away.
Do they call transition take fouls anymore? They do.
There's been a couple. I can't remember when the last one
was. Make the threshold so much higher than I would have it be. I mean,
you have to just deactivate after it to have it count as a transition take foul. Like if you're even remotely looking like you're going for the ball, then it won't be one. One of two for Lively. Has Anderson even sat again? I mean, they've gone with him over McDaniels quite a bit. And they've also had Gobert out for quite a while, too, with the struggle of scoring against the zone. A three from Reid is not even close. Doncic waves everyone through. Now he wants to wave him away again. He wants to get it to Irving against Reid. He saw that the whole way. Irving putting him in the mix, gets into the lane. Beautiful pass, flare screen set for the corner. That's what he was trying to get to the entire time, Danny. That was it. He was never even thought about shooting that ball. He's like, if I just get to this spot, I know PJ Washington's going to be open in the corner. That was fantastic. And then Luka stopping Reid down low. He's got Irving on his right. Irving on the drive, blow by, and that was Conley who knocked away from beyond. I thought Irving could have just taken that three.
And you shouldn't challenge that. That might have been off Kyrie. That's not the way you play this.
So back to 20 here. Wolves just have not been able to get it closer than 16. Screen for Luka by Kyrie. He wants to hand off. Good switch, but no, they miscommunicate, and Irving's wide open. He goes glass from 22.
I saw the arc on that ball, and I'm just like, what is he trying to do here? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ant loves the banker from the right side, Irving from the left. Now Gobert's back in. They put two on the ball there. Ant still on the ball, and he's going to get reached in on by Jones, and that will be free throws. Looks like a shooting foul.
and that is the second personal foul on Derek Jones Jr., fourth team foul. So that means Minnesota will be shooting the rest of the way. They've taken 9 free throws compared to 10 for Dallas. And yeah, that was a shooting foul because he was going up when the contact on the hand was when he started going up. That's a shooting foul.
Quick clarification on the take foul rule, by the way. Josh notes that it was an insane no call on the Drew Holiday transition take foul at the end of Game 3. There are no transition take fouls in the last 2 minutes of the game
because then that would lead to all those. Yeah.
Luka again guarded by Edwards, who doesn't look to be in a great stance here. Luka getting to his spot and just shoots over him. And I don't know if Luka got hit in the arm or what happened there. Now Edwards double teamed, gets off the ball to Reid. Reid crossing over, flare screen for Towns, and Irving got past it. Back to Anderson. No, Anderson wasn't ready. Behind the back, Washington. He goes right into Reid, can't finish. And nice defense by Reid against Washington. Washington had help coming behind him. He didn't see it. Here's now Edwards, corner Towns. Three-pointer is missed. And by the way, on that last possession before this, Irving did a great. Oh, now Lively's going to be wide open. Oh, and he got clocked in the head. Oh man, he may be ejected. I mean, I know he's. That's exactly what could have irritated it. The exact same motion that he got hit on last time. Oh yeah, I think Naz Reid is going to at least get a flagrant one here, and with Lively down like this, because part of it is the potential for injury and actual injury, he may just get thrown out.
And this is just going to be them announcing it. So I do wonder, like there's an idea in law. It's called the eggshell plaintiff. And
I was just thinking of that too.
The idea is that the person's susceptibility to injury, if you didn't necessarily like kind of know about it in the moment, shouldn't matter. First of all, I don't know that applies here, but also like Naz Reid doesn't make I don't think he's making a play on the ball. And so I want to watch his right hand here. Like, is there a plausible?
No, he's trying to foul him there.
Yeah.
That's a non-basketball play. I think he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because there's just no, like, when you are attempting to foul the guy, and that's what he's doing there. Like, there's the
only place
like,
where you're
at his waist.
When you drop your arm down like that, the only way that it can hit him is in the head. There isn't another place. The only thing it would do if it didn't hit him in the head is miss. And so, like, you're trying to hit him in the head.
So here are your flagrant foul criteria. We haven't gone through these.
Woo!
Number 1, or 6-0. Number 1, severity of contact.
Modest.
Pretty severe. Number 2, player making a legitimate basketball play. No. Was the fouling player wound up and fouled through after contact? Yeah, you would have to say so. Yes. Potential for injury? Yes. Yeah. Severity of actual injury? Yes. Outcome of contact? Did it lead to altercation? That's the one where we're always like they should game the system. I mean, it seems like he's going to be able to continue, but I think he's going to get thrown out here.
I think flagrant 2 is a completely reasonable outcome here.
Did we adequately explain eggshell plaintiff? I
think
I was looking it up.
Do you want to explain it more?
No, I didn't hear what you said. I was looking.
I basically said that the condition of the person, like the condition of the person who, well, actually, you were more in this. Oh, I think we're going to get the answer here. Oh, maybe not. I thought.
I'm surprised that's only a 1.
I am too. Oh, that's a good description of it. So if you cause an injury to somebody and they suffer more injury than a reasonable person would because of a peculiar condition, then it's like whether that person is liable, the person who committed the harm is liable for that damage or not.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of explains itself, right? It's like let's say I hit Humpty Dumpty or something who is made out of an eggshell with my car, and as a result they die when a normal person would have just like barely been injured. I'm still responsible.
Nate, this would be more your field because it was. Does it apply if you actually happen to know that the person had an unusual condition?
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just the
now you
nature.
could
It's the
be,
nature of the
yeah, I mean, you
contact.
might be more liable for punitive damages in that sense or something.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
But no, I mean,
Good thing we had this long a stoppage so we could explain all of these legal theories.
yeah. So Lively will be able to continue. It looks like, and he misses that first free throw though. And of course, if he were not able to shoot these free throws, he would. Did they change that rule now, where if it's because of a flagrant foul? I know they're talking about that.
They should if they haven't.
Yeah. All right. So 1 out of 2.
And I think there should be an additional thing where if it's a head, if it's a potential for a head thing, then you should be exempt.
I think that should have been a flagrant 2, though. You agree?
I agree. Flagrant 2.
When you look at, and maybe it's just because they're up by 21 and they just don't want them to lose the series because of this, because they're going to lose it anyway. But it's just like, and now interesting, Jordan McLaughlin getting some tick. That's a surprise. Instead of Monte Morris, maybe this is just for a defensive possession. Here's Irving. It's fading away. Oh, that is just a sick move right there against Anderson. That guy has got a 7'4" wingspan, and Irving is 6'2", and he just scored right over him. Now Anderson working the Spain pick and roll with Edwards. Edwards into the lane. They help off McLaughlin, and that's Lively that knocks away from Anderson. That's great. That's amazing defense by the Mavericks. To know Jordan McLaughlin hasn't played in the series, I don't think, other than garbage time. I don't think we've had any garbage time in this series, as Doncic has hit another 3. It's 26. Another 12-2 run, and this is getting completely out of hand now. But that's an example of Dallas. Like, McLaughlin hasn't played in the series, and they know not to guard him. They don't understand why he's playing right now. He's going to go at Luka. He misses. Like, is Conley injured or something?
He's not in foul trouble. McDaniels has 3, but no one else.
They thought Alexander Walker was just so bad that they had to put him in.
I mean,
and all right, he knocked it away from Luka. But
there was a time where I was driving the Jordan McLaughlin bus. I am surprised, and I guess you could say disappointed that he's in.
Yeah, and Edward, I think the bloom is off the Anderson rose for the Wolves here. I think a big reason why they haven't been able to score is because, like we talked about this, that Dallas is going to be a lot more locked in on making him beat them, as now Irving over McLaughlin. And I think we're going to be turning this off at halftime. What a performance by the Mavericks. This is insane. What a destruction. So anyone who was like, oh yeah, this series, it could have gone another way, it could have been 3-1. I think this performance, as again, look, they don't guard Anderson. He does make that 3. And it was like, the series could have been 3-1 Wolves if things had got a little bit different. Nah, I don't think there's much doubt about who's better. Doncic again kicks out Irving, working on Edwards into the lane, lefty, and he's fouled. Edwards can't believe it.
How soon are you getting the finals preview? My instinct would be we're going to wait a little while on that because to see what the deal is with Lively and Porzingis, and there'll be plenty of time. So,
yeah, I mean, Lively will surely play. I think Porzingis will be also. I think it's just it's more fun need a week to have it be a couple days beforehand when everyone's kind of like ramped up and ready to go.
Do we know definitively if the timing of the finals can change? I remember being burned on this many years ago.
We do. We know that it cannot.
Good.
Yeah, Doncic was so brilliant in the first. We probably lost sight of how awesome Irving has been in this one. He's 7 of 11 from the field with 18 points. I mean, quite frankly, the Wolves, they've attempted to make the other guys beat them, and Doncic and Irving have just scored on them anyway. Good rotation onto Towns by Luka. Here's Edwards into the lane, kicks out Anderson. Towns, he can't get it off, gets it to the corner, and that's going to do it. for that possession. Still 5.2 to work with for Dallas.
And this is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Yeah, can they push it to a 30-point lead here? It'll help to be inbounding on the side. They get it into Luka. Should have roped it up to a little bit more. And Minnesota not even trying to pressure. Oh, here we go from half court. Woo! Oh, Luka. He was. I thought once they gave it to him, he was going to try something like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't see much reason to come back here for the second half. This is a complete destruction.
We'll keep an eye on it. If there's a reason to, we will. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll
see it for game 1 of the finals.
Yeah. If not, a very frantic last 2 minutes of this game.
All right. See y'all next time. Thanks for joining us.